Hi, and welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame. I'm Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
Hi, Jim. Well, let's go on to the ice. Big story this week saw Colin Campbell stepping down as the guy that hands out the discipline in the NHL, a position he's held since 1998. Where's the NHL wheel of discipline going to go?
I wonder if he took it with him.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is mine.
I'm taking this wheel and I am leaving. I'm getting out of here.
Jeff, do you feel kind of bad? Like we... maybe played a tiny part in that.
We gave it to Coley pretty bad over the past little while.
Yeah. And I mean, us as a representation of many fans out there.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'll take a little of that responsibility, but I'm okay with that because he's being replaced by, your favorite and mine, Brendan Shanahan.
Nice move, NHL.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to make it tougher for us to disagree with you
and make fun of you
by bringing in a but Colin Campbell was probably a well-respected hockey player from a previous generation. So bringing in one from our generation, maybe maybe it will make it tougher for us to say, "Oh, come on."
Oh yeah, well maybe. I mean, it's been tough for me. Because Brendan Shanahan has done nothing but good since he left the NHL, and I was surprised he didn't go over to the NHL PA side of things, signing with the NHL. And I mean,
well, let's face it, he could do more good signing with the NHL.
Absolutely. So that's fantastic. But is Brendan Shanahan the right guy, Jim?
I would say he has to. I mean, I couldn't think of anyone better.
Yeah.
The thing that I think he has to think about going into this job is just get a clear read on the rules. And just be consistent.
Yeah.
If you're consistent, and I've always said this about refs too.
Oh, totally.
If you're just consistent, whether it's good consistent or bad consistent, at least people know what to expect.
Exactly.
With the NHL this last season, I personally, I'm sure you're the same, no idea what to expect. You see something and you go, that is a suspension 100%. It has to be. It's not?
And it's not, yeah.
And you go, well, that's not a suspension because that wasn't. It is?
Totally. No,
so
absolutely.
I think if he's going into this, obviously he knows it's going to be stressful. There's no question. But if he's consistent and he's just, he doesn't leave people going, but I thought a headshot was if you hit him in the head.
Exactly. No, totally.
Which it apparently sometimes is.
Yeah, which apparently it sometimes is. The other big story there this week, of course, was there's this little thing, and it took over the NHL, all the websites and stuff. I don't know. Some team was moving from one place to another. It didn't get a whole lot of media coverage.
Not much media coverage. I think we touched on it a couple of times.
But some group called True North took a team. Apparently, there was an NHL team in Atlanta. Did you know that? Yeah,
oh.
I didn't know that at all. But now they're moving up to Winnipeg, where there used to be a team 15 years ago or something like that. Yeah.
The Winnipeg Coyotes.
Winnipeg Coyotes, something exactly. Like so now the Manitoba Thrashers are going to be in Winnipeg.
You mean the Winnipeg Moose?
Oh, the Winnipeg Moose.
Or the
exactly. Well,
the Winnipeg Jonathan Taveses.
Yeah, that's right. No, I like it. Can you wear your Moose jersey to games and fit in? Is that all right?
Or maybe your old Jets?
Or maybe your old Jets jersey? Is that allowed? Yeah, exactly.
They've been very adamant that they haven't made the decision yet. I've heard rumors that they couldn't be the Jets because the Coyotes
the Phoenix
franchise
Coyotes
still owns that, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Also, who owns the Phoenix Coyotes, Jim?
That's
first of all, that's a nebulous question to begin with.
So who owns the rights? Does that mean wait?
Yeah.
If the NHL owns the Phoenix Coyotes, can't they just give it to Winnipeg because they own it?
This is what I'm saying. Weird.
I think we just ripped a hole in the space-time continuum or whatever that.
I think so. And of course, whoever owns the Atlanta Thrashers owns the Thrashers, so they can't be the Winnipeg Thrashers.
I don't think you want to be, though.
No, I mean, why would you want to be, of course.
Maybe get a baby blue, kind of like this, but right Atlanta down the arm.
Winnipeg.
Manitoba.
I like it. The drive to 13,000, they wanted 13,000 season tickets going on there to have a good base. And they were asking for 3-year and 5-year commitments on these season tickets as well.
And amazingly, it took them 10 minutes once they opened it up to the general public. This is crazy too, though. There's 2,000 Manitoba Moose season ticket holders.
Yeah.
They got first dibs. They bought over 7,000 season tickets.
Huh.
So they were over halfway before they opened it up to the general public, and the rest of them snapped it up like that. So that's good. They'll have at least the money for 13,000 tickets.
Which is good.
If not, 13,000 fans every night. they're going to max out at 15, though, maybe a little more. Hopefully,
well,
if they do some retro.
I mean, you and I have talked about this over the Twitter. Check us out at 15 Minutes YEG. But the question is, I mean, they can only have 15,000-ish people there. I mean, they better sell out every single time, right?
I think this is a good sign that they will. But if they retrofit it or whatever you say,
hopefully they do
to get a few more seats in there, hope. But I
think, on the other hand,
but Don Cherry said it recently, though, if those seats will probably be up top, and they're the cheap seats anyway.
Right. but I mean, 13,000 was better than what Atlanta or Phoenix or any of them are getting. Florida.
Well, Atlanta was averaging about that.
Oh, were they
this season?
Oh, yeah.
But they had a stadium that was much bigger than that, so it looked empty.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I hope for their sake that they're able to make money on 15, because they're going to sell out.
Oh yeah.
If that many people, and there's people that wanted tickets but couldn't get them because they sold out in 10 flipping minutes.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, they've still got to put a good team on the ice. I mean, that's a big thing, and that was why Atlanta never really caught on. They didn't really.
And that's the complaint from Thrashers fans that ownership never spent to the cap. Before the cap, they were spending 20 mil when there's other teams spending 70.
Yeah.
But that's a team on the rise right now.
I agree.
The Thrashers,
young core, I like it.
Yeah.
Dallas Stars center Brad Richards will be a free man come July 1st. He had a 28-goal, 77-point season in Dallas. He said he wouldn't sign if the ownership situation wasn't changed, and here we go now. The ownership situation hasn't changed.
Don't have an owner.
Joe Nieuwendyk, apparently general manager of the Stars, made a very good offer to him at the trade deadline. He didn't take it because he said the ownership, and so looks like he's going to be a free agent. So,
and that's fair, because I think in his mind he's thinking, okay, so no owner, so that means maybe the team will suffer, which it would.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long until the Leafs or the Rangers sign him?
Well, July 1st,
July
2nd.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't go to New York, because I just, you see players go there and they don't really thrive like they have in other places.
I'm worried that's going to happen to him.
Toronto, please no.
Exactly. Why don't take a little less money and go to some place.
Oh, not even less money.
Oh, sure.
I mean, he's gonna be he'll make his money.
Yeah,
because
he's a good player.
He's an outstanding player. He's a very good setup guy.
Yes.
Everyone needs a good playmaking center.
Totally.
Edmonton. Something funny, Jeff?
like he's gonna say, let's let Dallas to Edmonton, warmest to coldest.
Well,
maybe he'll come.
If climate is your only concern,
then we're fine.
Maybe he'll go to Winnipeg.
Maybe he'll go to Winnipeg. Going to Winnipeg.
God damn, you beat me to it.
We don't talk much about car racing, but we have to mention a couple of things from last week's Indy500, Jim. First off, did you see what happened to J.R. Hildebrand on the final turn, sir?
Let's call it a rookie mistake.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel bad for the guy.
No kidding.
If you missed it, he was leading by about 4 seconds or so. Coming into the last turn, he was about to lap somebody, and he went around them on the turn.
Yeah.
Kept going. Boom. Hit the wall.
Unbelievable. Rookie mistake. And even more from that, how about the eventual winner, Dan Weldon? I mean, he ended up winning the race, but then doesn't have a ride for the next race.
Yeah, it's his only win of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that. That's because it was, maybe his only race of the season.
Exactly.
That's one of these interesting things about car racing. It happens to Paul Tracy the last few years.
All the time.
You get 2 or 3 good races, but that's it.
And then you don't have a.
And it is. I know everyone likes to blame everything on the economy, but it's
the economy.
Yeah,
no, that's right.
They need a lot of money to fund these things, but poor guy.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
You win the biggest race of the year, arguably, and then you're just kind of.
That's it.
All right. See you guys later.
There's big talk about FIFA this week as well, about bribery talk, and there's even talking now about that the U.S. may actually take over the World Cup that's scheduled for Qatar in 2022. Yeah. What's going on there?
Well, I can't really talk about it because I was not given anything to not talk about it on the show.
That's right. So pay me and I'll talk about
it. Basically, the president of FIFA ran unopposed this week or last week because the guy who was going up against him was brought in front of an ethics commission and had to pull out of the race.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of rumors, maybe more than rumors, that people were paid for their votes in this the World Cup voting. So I guess if it turns out that it's more than just speculation and that, then
if they can prove anything,
maybe you don't give it to Qatar.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I don't want the U.S. to get it because they might win.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to move on to the GABBYs now. This is the good and bad by you. We take the best in the world of sport that you give us, and we make fun of it, or we just talk about it. But let's start off with our first good. We'll give a good to Oilers forward Gilbert Brule. I almost
Gilbert
Brule, who got a shout out from U2 frontman Bono at that big concert at Commonwealth Stadium there last week. Here's the story. So Bono was in Vancouver, and he was just hanging out, and it started to rain, so he wanted to get picked up. And who would drive by but Gilbert Brule and his girlfriend, and they picked him up. So
that's unbelievable. Like what? What?
Yeah,
that's the most random thing I've ever heard in my life.
No kidding.
So awesome.
Completely random. Absolutely.
And he ends up backstage at the concert.
Oh yeah, sold his tickets to the game one of the Vancouver series. Yeah, the Vancouver-Boston series.
Wasn't much to see anyway.
No.
Gets a shout out on stage
by
Bono,
the biggest front man ever.
Who says, "I want to be like him."
Yeah, awesome.
That's
wow. Love it.
Wow. Hey, you too. If you're listening, we would have picked you up too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just saying. Good must also go to your boy Zdeno Chara.
Zdeno.
Big Z.
Yeah.
Who took and won his first ever career face-off this past week. It looked strange.
It did look strange.
I thought, why is that grown-up hurting that kid?
Yeah, that's right. He almost it looked like he waved the other guy out too, and he's like,
it was kind of a scrambled draw, but since his reach is about 13 feet, he just kind of, I got this. He also got high-sticked twice. So I didn't realize that Canada's national diving team also did the javelin in the offseason, but apparently that's the case because I don't think I could high-stick him.
You can't reach him.
Not out of fear.
Absolutely.
Just
yeah.
He's 6'9".
Totally. Poor guy, though, got just out-muscled for the final goal in overtime there on Saturday night.
That the bigger they come, the harder they fall.
I guess. Blue Jays slugger Jose Bautista is the AL Player of the Month for the second straight month, and he's led the AL in homers for 5 straight months, which hasn't been done since 1934. So that's fantastic. I wish they'd start winning here, but 500
is not going to make it.
No, exactly. No, absolutely not.
How about that JJ Reyes? He finally got the win. We were chirping him a bit last week.
Yeah,
he got he got the Gatorade shower and the shaving cream in the face.
Which rightfully so.
They were pumped about him. Yeah. So that was good to see.
Good for JJ.
On the bad side, though, we're sticking with baseball. Scott Cousins of the Florida Marlins, he smoked and broke the leg of San Francisco Giants back catcher Buster Posey.
Yeah, ran over him.
Buster Posey.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Good name. I like it. Yeah.
Great name. He's been getting death threats over it.
Crazy.
San Francisco GM was all over him too, saying, "This guy."
Yeah, of course. He's got to say
it's a perfectly legal play, unfortunately, and it's something that that's a baseball play.
I think it's one of the most exciting plays in baseball when they run the pat catcher. I like it.
I think it's ridiculous.
Of course it is.
He drilled him.
He did.
And
just
really, there's no real reason for that. If you smoke the catcher, you're probably not going to hit the base even. You'd have to come back to do it.
Exactly.
But death threats, really?
Come on now.
Come on.
Still with baseball, the LA Times reported this week that 9 teams aren't complying with the MLB's rules when it comes to debt, including the Phillies and the Rangers. Bad news for the MLB, Jim, with the CBA upcoming?
You got to think so.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the elite teams that are, you think the Phillies, you don't think,
yeah, you're running into debt. No.
And the fact that there are debt rules in place and they're ignoring them, every league is trying to say that we're losing this money.
Yeah.
So going into negotiations when the owners are saying we're losing all this money, I think that's a bargaining chip for the players saying, well, here's why you're losing money, because you're not following the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've always hated it happens in all these labor negotiations. We want the players to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, owners.
Yeah.
You offered them the deal.
It's your own fault.
And they'll say, but the market's driven up by bad owners.
Absolutely.
Paying. I remember when the NHL had their little tiff there, and the players took a massive pay cut.
Big time.
I would almost guarantee that's not going to happen in the NBA or the NFL. 24% pay,
not
rollback?
A chance. Not
no
a
way.
Chance.
But even that was not because the players were whatever it was. When guys like Todd Marchand, not to slam Todd Marchand, but he was making like $2-3 million.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's going to drive up the price for every other Todd Marchand in the league.
Totally.
You need players like Todd Marchand, but he's in the middle there. And anyways, this is happening everywhere else. But quickly on the bad side.
Wait for it. There it is.
I thought maybe it didn't have sound up. All right. The final bad. Novak Djokovic
has
a 43-game win streak ended this past week.
No kidding.
That's tough.
That is tough.
And he lost to Roger Federer. Roger Federer has also ended some other major streaks for guys like Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
And Rafael Nadal.
It was a really good match.
Who ended up winning the tournament?
Exactly.
The French Open, but 43 game win streak.
Absolutely insane. It was it was
lost all season.
Incredible match. It was something to watch. Like there was just back and forth.
Well, isn't that tennis though?
See, that's right. Look at this guy catching up. I love it. It's great. Yeah, but no, it's fantastic.
I got a little less hair now, so my head's a little more. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. No, I mean, too bad for him, but that was a great match. So yeah. You heard the bell like 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
That's our 15 minutes of fame up for this week. Join us again next week when we get a whole new 15 minutes of fame. In the meantime, from the home offices here in Edmonton, Alberta, I'm Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
Have a good week, folks.